So if you can have a guy that's in the audience that's yelling, I him, now me, I him, now me, and then that guy gets arrested for child charges.
Charlie Kirk's passing didn't just feel tragic, and it felt too perfect, almost staged. That's exactly what Joe Rogan hinted during his podcast. And once his words hit the air, the internet went up in flames. What started as grief turned into one of the wildest, most suspicious mysteries of the year. And Rogan, he wasn't holding back. He mentioned everything, even the strange behavior of Charlie's own widow. Rogan told his audience that the official story didn't sit right with him. Something about it felt off. He pointed to how the media skipped crucial details, like that viral picture of a 22-year-old man allegedly tied to the scene, holding a high-end hunting rifle. Rogan said that rifle looked too clean, too polished, like it came straight from a luxury showcase instead of a real crime scene. But what made everyone freeze was his next point. Rogan said witnesses saw another man, older, unpredictable, suddenly scream, "I did it," before stripping down and taking off. Totally bizarre. Rogan said it looked more like a distraction than reality. Chaos crafted to confuse the public while the real player slipped away. He told his listeners flat out that none of it added up. The timing, the panic, the confusion, it all felt too scripted, like someone wanted the story to look messy on purpose. According to Rogan, these weren't coincidences. They were cover moves meant to blur the truth and hide whoever was actually pulling strings. Then his clip hit social media and boom, it went nuclear.
Nothing is a coincidence. Hold on to that thought. Did you know that Charlie Kirk's father, Robert W. Kirk, was actually the architect for Trump Towers? Also, did you know that Erica Lane Kirk won Miss Arizona USA in 2012? Don't forget, Donald Trump ran Miss America from 1996 until 2015. Seeing the correlation here? Now, not saying age difference is a big thing, but did you know Erica was 5 years Charlie Sr.? But this is where coincidences aren't.
People clipped every second, slowed it down, zoomed in, broke it apart like detectives, and then Elon Musk entered the chat. Out of nowhere, he posted one cryptic line that made jaws drop. "The truth doesn't hide forever." Just 7 words, and the internet lost its mind. Suddenly, Rogan's entire segment was being replayed frame by frame. Viewers compared tone, lighting, everything, convinced Musk was sending a signal. Was he backing Rogan? Was he hinting that he knew something deeper? The timelines went insane. Every few seconds, new theories popped up, connecting Musk's post to Rogan's clip like it was a digital code. Then it got even crazier. Elon started liking multiple posts from Candace Owens, the same Candace who'd been warning about media cover-ups surrounding Charlie's death. That's when people online completely lost it. They started linking all three. Rogan, Musk, and Owens, claiming the trio might be quietly exposing something huge behind the scenes. By morning, hashtags about Charlie's widow were trending in every country. Comment sections filled with people insisting this wasn't random at all.
People, this was so arranged. And there's so much more to Erica Kirk. Kind of like how she was all into basketball, didn't want to be all girly, never liked to dress up, even cut all her hair off, and ended up being Miss USA. How does that happen? How do you go from sports to Miss USA? And then they meet at a Turning Point event in 2018, where she's interviewing for a job for Turning Point.
They swore Musk and Rogan were playing a strategic game, revealing breadcrumbs while avoiding censorship. Even mainstream outlets joined in, pretending to report neutrally, but clearly feeding off the chaos for clicks. It suddenly felt like the silence around Charlie's death was breaking, like walls were starting to crack open. When Rogan dropped the full podcast later that night, it got darker fast. He stopped tiptoeing around. He flat out said the story doesn't make sense. He listed every red flag like he was laying out a case in court. The spotless rifle, the messed up timeline, the strange suspect behavior, the investigators who kept quiet when they should have been transparent. And then Rogan laughed mid-episode, saying, "If this was a movie script, no one would buy it." That line hit hard because it did sound like a bad movie. Everything too exaggerated, too cinematic, too perfectly chaotic. But just when fans thought things couldn't escalate further, Candace Owens went live and her words lit a new fire. She claimed Charlie had been digging into topics that made powerful people uncomfortable, even government-connected figures and their foreign allies. She said his recent questions were rattling the right cages, and some folks wanted him quiet.
They showed the photo of that kid, or the guy that they have, the 22-year-old,
Yeah.
whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude, that, you think he's got the capability to do that?
Yeah, well, listen, there are people that look like that have the capability to do that.
Pretty
yes.
accurate.
Nope.
No?
Not hard. Not hard at
Not
all.
hard.
Let me dispel that.
Okay.
Okay. 200 yards from a prone position with a dead-on rifle. So if you have a dead-on rifle, so you set this rifle, you set your 0 to 200 yards, right? You know how far you're going to.
Then came her most shocking reveal yet. Candace said she had screenshots of Charlie's private messages. In them, he allegedly talked about Jewish donors pulling out and hinted that someone close to him wasn't being honest. She claimed he left behind a note, one that could flip everything upside down. The internet froze. Within minutes, those screenshots were everywhere. TikTok, Reddit, X, people posting, zooming in, comparing fonts and timestamps like it was an investigation. Some said it was the digital smoking gun. Others said it was bait to derail the truth. Either way, it exploded online like nothing before. By the time her live stream ended, Rogan's name was trending again. This time, next to hashtags like Charlie Kirk Files and Government Cover-Up. Fans were stunned by how perfectly Rogan's doubts and Candace's receipts lined up. It was like every missing puzzle piece suddenly locked together. A chilling sense that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't a random tragedy at all. Then came the theory that sent the internet straight into meltdown. One that tied every loose end together in the creepiest way imaginable. According to Reddit sleuths, Charlie Kirk's final note wasn't emotional at all.
It is not hard at all.
He a lot.
You don't have to a lot.
So
I could do it tomorrow.
If you're no, but you are experienced. If it's someone that's never, could they do it?
100%. Not if
Really?
they've never. They wouldn't know where to look. They'd have a hard time acquiring the like when you look through a scope, like with the reticle is weird. Like it's sometimes
Takes a minute.
You got to know the distance that you have to be from it to really line it up in your sights. But you could get a guy like my friend Andy Stump, who was a sniper in the SEALs. You could get him, and he could show you how to do it in an afternoon, and then you could hit steel at 200 yards every time you pull the trigger.
One day you could learn.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Not that hard.
Because it feels.
It was coded. Hidden messages, weird capitalization, even punctuation marks. Everything was treated like part of a secret message. People claimed he was trying to speak to the public in disguise, like he knew eyes were on him. Soon, self-proclaimed digital analysts started claiming they'd cracked part of the code. They said specific words matched speeches where Charlie once warned about trust, betrayal, and infiltration. They believed he wasn't paranoid. He was warning us. A message from someone who realized the real threat was close. Maybe too close. Then things got spooky. One of the same phrases appeared in Rogan's earlier podcast. Sometimes the threat isn't the stranger outside. It's the person standing next to you. Fans froze. They replayed the clip 1,000 times, claiming Rogan wasn't just talking, he was hinting. People accused him of speaking in code, saying just enough to spark questions without crossing a legal line. Meanwhile, Candace Owens turned up the heat. She posted on X he was silenced for speaking the truth. Boom. Millions of views in under an hour. Her comments were pure chaos. Some praised her as fearless. Others accused her of stirring danger. But Candace didn't flinch. She teased more receipts and claimed she had messages too sensitive and legally risky to show publicly. That line alone made people's blood run cold. What could be that dangerous? Then a journalist from an indie outlet came forward with an even bigger twist. He claimed he'd seen unedited versions of Candace's screenshots and said there were missing lines cut out before she posted. According to him, one alleged text said, "If something happens to me, don't believe what they say." That single sentence flipped the entire internet upside down. If it was real, it meant Charlie knew something was coming for him. By now, Reddit threads were transforming into full-on investigation boards. Users compared Charlie's last 48 hours to the official story, and nothing matched. They found missing timestamps, strange phone data, and inconsistencies about who was with him that night. Some users swore the suspect was a decoy, a distraction to bury whatever truth Charlie was chasing before his.
Sickening is definitely the right adjective, I think, to describe how a lot of us are feeling. And all I know how to do is to gather information, to research, and to investigate. And nothing is making sense. Now, it could not be making sense because we've not arrived at the conclusion. The FBI, I will say, has recently come out and said they're looking for another person. Good, because what we have so far obviously cannot be it.
And once Elon Musk's cryptic "the truth doesn't hide forever" tweet resurfaced, things went nuclear again. People started saying Rogan, Musk, and Candace weren't just connected by coincidence. They were separate insiders whispering the same truth through different platforms. A viral thread even claimed Musk's tweet was a coded nod to classified documents about online censorship that tied straight into Charlie's last research project. Mainstream media tried damage control, releasing fact checks and calling the whole thing an internet overreaction. But every denial made things worse. Each debunk just fueled suspicion. And when a CNN anchor accidentally referred to the situation as the Charlie Kirk investigation on live TV before backtracking, it sent the internet into total chaos. What investigation? There wasn't one, at least not publicly. That tiny slip turned speculation into a movement overnight. From there, online detectives went wild. They started digging through sealed court filings, airport logs, even donation databases. People were convinced something big was being hidden, that a secret operation had already started behind the scenes. TikTok creators turned Charlie's coded note into multi-part series, breaking down each word like scripture. Some even compared handwriting from that note to old letters Charlie had written years ago. One viral TikTok went with over 8 million views, claimed the ink patterns didn't match at all, suggesting someone altered or rewrote the message after the fact. Then out of nowhere, Erica Kirk posted on Instagram. A single picture of her lighting a candle captioned only, "Trust is fragile." 2 words and the internet erupted again. Some said it was poetic grief. Others swore it was a cryptic message. Conspiracy accounts went wild, saying Erica was sending a signal. Maybe out of guilt, maybe as a warning. Either way, that post made things way worse for her public image. Not long after, a former podcast guest who'd worked closely with Charlie dropped another bomb. He said Charlie was under serious pressure weeks before his death. He didn't name names, but claimed powerful donors were telling him to tone it down after he started questioning funding irregularities. That clip blew up instantly, shifting the entire theory toward money, not ideology. By that point, the online storm was unstoppable. YouTube channels ran 10-hour live streams connecting every dot. Reddit threads hit 100,000 comments in a day. Twitter Spaces ran nonstop, filled with voices piecing together evidence like amateur detectives. Some believed foreign agents had been monitoring Charlie's movements, not to stop him, but to see how far he'd gotten before the story broke. Wild or not, the world couldn't look away. It felt like every second brought another twist, another clue, another glimpse into a truth buried deep in shadows. Joe Rogan went silent for a few days, and in that silence made everything explode even more. When Rogan doesn't talk, the internet fills in the blanks for him. Fans flooded his comments, begging for answers, accusing him of hiding something big. And when he finally broke his silence, all he said was, "People deserve transparency. That's all I'm saying." Boom. One sentence. And chaos reignited across every timeline, every forum, every feed. By now, this wasn't just a tragic case. It had evolved into a cultural earthquake. Charlie Kirk's name had become more than a person. It was a symbol of mistrust, media manipulation, and unanswered questions that kept multiplying every single day. People weren't just asking what happened anymore. They were asking who was behind it, why certain details vanished, and how so many powerful names suddenly ended up circling the same mystery. And right in the middle of that firestorm, Rogan, Elon Musk, and Candace Owens stayed trending together nonstop. 3 heavyweights, 3 platforms, one story the entire world couldn't stop talking about. The internet wasn't just watching now. It had turned into an army of investigators. Everyone wanted receipts. And the silence from officials only made the obsession stronger. At this stage, it wasn't just a scandal. It was a full-blown movement. People wanted to know what really happened to Charlie Kirk, and they weren't letting go until the truth surfaced. Rogan's fans began connecting the dots, and what they found made jaws drop. They realized both Rogan and Candace had used the word trust multiple times in their statements. Both called out inconsistencies no one else would touch, and both hinted carefully but loudly that something about the widow's story didn't feel right. It wasn't random. It was coordinated energy, and the timing was way too specific to ignore. Then came the curveball that no one saw coming. Out of nowhere, an old clip of Donald Trump resurfaced, and it was brutal. In the video, Trump was seen laughing, saying Charlie couldn't dodge a bullet like I did. At first, people thought it was a bad joke, but given the situation, it came off cold, even sinister. The clip spread like wildfire. Some said it was harmless humor from years ago. Others said it sounded like a coded jab. And that's when social media went absolutely nuts. But before the outrage could cool down, Utah prosecutors dropped their so-called bombshell. Text messages allegedly sent by the suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, to his girlfriend the night Charlie died. But instead of clarity, those texts created pure chaos. Screenshots flooded social media, and almost instantly people called them fake. Fans said the writing style didn't sound like any 22-year-old. The language was too neat, too staged, too cinematic. It read like a movie confession, not real emotion. Some even claimed the entire exchange was cooked up by officials to keep people distracted. The Tyler Robinson texts became the center of madness overnight. Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, everyone was dissecting every letter. People zoomed in on timestamps, fonts, and message bubble spacing. A Reddit thread claimed the metadata didn't line up with real iMessage data. Another said the punctuation looked machinerated. Digital forensics users chimed in too, saying they found AI-like traces in the screenshot compression, meaning someone might have edited them before release. Then a new wild theory started taking over. Maybe the messages were meant to look fake on purpose. That's right. People believe the chaos was the cover-up. Because if the evidence is confusing enough, no one can ever prove anything. The theory said confusion isn't a mistake, it's strategy. And honestly, a lot of people started believing it. When Rogan returned to the topic on his next episode, he sounded irritated, like a man who'd seen too much nonsense. "This whole thing feels engineered," he said, like someone wants people arguing instead of finding answers. His co-host agreed, saying, "When every version of the truth sounds insane, that's when someone's running the show." That clip hit millions of views in hours, because deep down everyone felt that statement. Then an anonymous Reddit post dropped that changed everything again. The user claimed to be a source inside the investigation, and said those messages weren't found in normal phone data at all. They were given to Utah authorities by an outside agency before Robinson was even arrested. If true, that meant the evidence could have been planted. That revelation hit the internet like a bomb. Candace Owens jumped on it instantly. She reposted the anonymous claim with the caption, "Told you they were playing with the evidence." That post blew up faster than anything she'd ever dropped. Her followers flooded the comments demanding statements from Utah's Attorney General, tagging officials left and right. But all they got was silence, and that silence only made everything worse. People took it as proof that the government had something to hide. Influencers started turning into amateur investigators overnight. They uploaded entire breakdowns, documentaries, and visual timelines connecting every inconsistency from the texts to the timeline to the missing memory cards. One viral post even suggested the supposed texts were recycled from a completely different criminal case and rewritten to fit the Charlie Kirk narrative. And just when you thought it couldn't get any stranger, Erica Kirk posted again. This time it was an Instagram quote card that read, "People will twist your words when they can't handle your truth." No tags, no names, just the quote. But that was enough. The internet immediately connected it to the controversy. Some said she was calling out Rogan and Candace. Others claimed she was backing the prosecutors. Either way, the comment sections went wild again. At this point, what began as a tragic death had morphed into a digital storm of theories, leaks, and suspicions. Every post, every receipt, every photo only made things murkier. Nobody knew who to trust anymore, and everyone wanted the last word. That's when Steve Bannon entered the picture. Yes, that's Steve Bannon, Donald Trump's former advisor. On his own podcast, he said flat out that he didn't buy the Tyler Robinson text. His words were sharp. They're too perfect, too scripted, too clean. That's not how real confessions look. He even said it felt like damage control, not real evidence, and the internet ate it up. But then came the detail that froze everyone. Reports revealed that several SD memory cards from Charlie's cameras went missing the same day he was killed. Think about that. Footage that could have shown what really happened gone. Witnesses even claimed they saw a man adjust his hat seconds before the shots rang out. Almost like it was a signal. Creepy doesn't even cover it. Then Charlie's longtime producer, Andrew Colt, confirmed it. On the Charlie Kirk show, he said the cards were definitely taken and not by strangers. He said on air, "What was on those cards that someone didn't want the world to see?" That question sent chills everywhere because nobody had an answer. Candace had her own spin on it. Why? And it was explosive. She said Charlie was offered serious money to help launder a political message tied to Israel and refused. She claimed his refusal cost him everything. Whether people believed her or not, it threw gasoline on an already blazing fire. When you lay out all of it, the missing footage, the shady text messages, the silence, the cryptic posts, it doesn't look random anymore. It looks like a pattern, something big, deliberate, and buried deep. And then came the reactions. Raw, intense, divided. One Redditor wrote, "That video where she held his hand repeating, 'I love you,' wasn't grief. It was a performance." Another said, "When she stood by his office chair, smiling through the speech, it didn't look like pain. It looked like PR." And countless users echoed the same thought. Fires at a memorial. That's not mourning. That's branding. Still, others said Erica wasn't the villain. Maybe just another puppet. She's being handled. One post said, "Turning Point has her under control. She's just following orders." No matter where you stand, one thing's for sure. This story is nowhere near done. The missing evidence, the strange silence, and the endless trail of contradictions have turned this case into something massive. So, what do you think really happened? Was it random, or was it planned from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications. More truth bombs are coming, and you won't want to miss what's